Welcome back to Framework Fortune, or welcome to Framework Fortune if you are new. Be sure to get down in the links, join the Discord. There's nothing to stop you. Just hit the link, you will be in the Discord. Also, check out Framework Fortune Crypto, which we're going to be doing a live stream on Framework Fortune Crypto right after this one. The link for that is in the description as well. Now, let's get to the stock market. What has been going on? Of course, if you've been following me, this is what I've been saying was going to happen for years now, and it's happening. So, NQ giving up that 11.5 support that we've been watching to make sure it's going to hold up. And the only reason that is support at all, fighter jet behind outside or something, I don't know what that was. Oh well. It's a war zone right now. It's 106 degrees in Wisconsin. Tell me what's up. Okay, so right here, this area right across here is the 11.5 area where there was a lot of congestion from about July 20th to all the way almost to January 20th. Or not January 20th, but January 21. So about half a year there where the stock market just kind of went sideways. And that is exactly where we're hitting at now. But after that, the next line of support is right here. This 10,000. Let's see. Hold on just a second. Let me check something real quick. Just getting back into it, guys. Hey, what's up, Stonks and Chomps? Lando, what's going on, my friend? How have you been? How's your trading going? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what's going on. You know, it's not just an update. It's been a battle with Spectrum, but I got new internet, and so far, so good. So maybe I will be back live stream trading in the mornings here soon. But anyway, so as I was saying, this right here, this last little high, right around 10,009, 7.5 maybe. That's probably where we're headed to. I don't see us stopping anywhere along the way. And if it is, it's going to be a short time period. We are way off of this downtrend, and we are continuing to drop. And 10 may hold. There's a possibility that 10 may hold as long as the Feds don't try to do crazy interest rate raises. They're starting to talk a little wild that they may go from quarter point raises to half point raises. So, meanwhile, inflation has been spiking. As I was saying, inflation is only going to keep going up. It's too long. It's too late. Cat's out of the bag. Congratulations to all the YouTubers here late in the last 2 weeks that I've seen putting out videos about how they're calling the crash now, like the crash hasn't been happening for a little while. But shout out to them for trying, having very whatever. So let's see, how's Hal doing? Hal should be good. He's just got a whole lot going on, and eventually he'll be back live streaming some more. It's just been kind of a crazy month for both of us, and probably will never stop being crazy. So you just gotta, kind of deal with the chaos, and there's a lot of chaos. But anyway, the NQ looks like I don't know, what do you want to call it, a mountain peak? And if this is a mountain peak, we still got a long ways down to the bottom of the mountain. Maybe we make that valley at 10K, but I'm thinking we're going down more. I think the Feds have lost complete control, and any interest rate hikes they do are going to make the market drop more, which is probably going to lead them to reverse course, as I've said a couple times, probably about a month ago on some of the live streams, and they're going to stop raising interest rates and start lowering them again and start printing money again. And that'll probably be the last final attempt at the Feds being able to try to save the market, but it's not going to happen. Now, across the other markets, and we'll get into some of the stocks that's moved today and the stocks that I've been watching and talking about. But let's look at some of the other markets. Oil's been a big thing that we've been watching in here in the Framework Fortune community because oil has been on a very nice uptrend. And it still is on a very nice uptrend. I know some of y'all were disappointed in the Discord this morning. Well, this afternoon, after oil did not break out like it looked like it was going to off of this little short-term uptrend, but it has closed right there on the uptrend. So all it's going to take is just some buying to come back into oil, and it could bounce off of that uptrend. Now, we're just at a lot of resistance. This previous peak at that 125, and if we scale back to a bigger time frame, this whole area all the way back since 2008. Ooh, that's a scary year. But back here to 2008, through these couple of years here, this is a strong, strong area of resistance. I mean, we're close to all-time highs on oil. So it's not like it's just going to easily break through all of this resistance. And what we're seeing is it's just kind of running into it. But looking at this monthly chart, so far on the month, we are green still on oil. So I do not think oil is going to be pulling back to any lower areas of 100 or anything like that. It is looking like 120 area is starting to hold as some support for the final test of these previous highs at once. Well, the previous high is up at 150, which is where I think we're going. And the resistance we got to break is this 125 area. So I think we're holding 120 as support, testing it across these candles over the last, 3-4 months. And if that holds, then boom, we should break through that. And from there, I think we'll see 150 pretty quickly. Doesn't matter really too much about if they're starting to produce a bunch of oil because inflation is still going up. As long as inflation is going up, everything is going to go up in price because it's inflation of the U.S. dollar. This chart is in U.S. dollars. So the more inflation, the more issues we're going to have. I see we got a lot of people in here going on. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, Stonks and Chomps, you said crash is so bad I'm going to have to start donating plasma for money. And not because you're a good person. See, Josie, you're looking for a 75 BSP. What's BSP? You have to remind me. You're using abbreviations. You know, I get confused. Stonks and Chomps, you're in natural gas and doing great. Yeah, I actually finally, and I'm going to show you guys this in a second, I finally put natural gas on my market watch here. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool thing that I have been using. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, Brave acting up. But I'm going to show you a really cool thing to where you, on TradingView, where you can see all the markets all at once on the chart. Let's see. BPS. I'm still trying to think of what BPS means. Bobby Eisenhower, how's it going, buddy? What's going to happen next? We screwed. Hyperinflation, game over. No, not necessarily. So, yeah, well, again, here's what you got to think about. Oil is over $4 for life. Maybe and probably. But that is the U.S. dollar that it costs to purchase that oil. So if the U.S. dollar goes down in its purchasing value because inflation continues to go up, well, then you just use a different currency, right? So at the moment, there's not really even any cryptocurrencies besides one that I've been talking about quite a bit. A lot of videos on the crypto channel, how to start mining it and all of that. But most of the everything, the currencies are just all down. The U.S. dollar is actually strengthening right now. If I pull up the U.S. dollar chart, where's it at? U.S. dollar chart. Give me just a sec. I got to remember. Oh yeah, right here it is, DXY. So the dollar is strengthening. It's been strengthening since the beginning of this. Well, actually, since the beginning of 2021, but it's running into this major resistance. However, the reason why the U.S. dollar is strengthening is because everything has been crashing. So everybody's going back to cash. So it doesn't make any sense to have a strengthened dollar when we have 15% inflation or more. The official number I think now is 9%, but you know about the CPI, and you know that that's not accurate. So looking at it from this way, this is a false strengthening of the dollar, and more than likely, as soon as prices get low enough, people are going to want to buy back in to assets, whether it be cryptos, gold, stocks, whatever. And that's going to cause the US dollar to come down because all that US dollar is going to move into those assets. So that value is going to be transferred. Now, is it the end of the world? I'm going to go ahead and cover this question. Is it the end of the world if the US dollar crashes? Is it at the end of the world if the US stock market crashes? No, it's not. Anybody, most people, when I start talking about it, it's the first place that their mind goes. It's the end of the world. And here's the truth about it. We're just one country. We're not that important. We have been that important, but we are losing importance to the global geopolitical and economical structure because we don't have any money. Our whole entire government is in super debt and continuing to spend. So it's not going to be the end of the world if we lose if the world reserve currency status. We'll just be using a different currency that can actually buy things instead of a worthless currency. Now, is it going to get rough? Well, it's already rough. It's been rough, right? I mean, gas prices are up, food prices are up, everything is up. So it hurts right now. The stock market crashes. Everybody's taking a hit. Even those of us who best prepared for it and saw all this coming, there's going to be some assets that we're down on. But the assets that I'm in specifically, which I'm not in very many stocks at all. I told you guys, let's see. I think I got completely out of all my positions before this year. So I only have a couple of swing trades in the stock market. Most of my assets, gold, silver, cryptos, of course, a little bit of real estate, all that. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty sure that this is just a false strengthening of this dollar, and we're going to see it crash, and I don't think we're going to see any type of apocalyptic situation out of it. It's just going to be a weird, probably year where we have to switch things over. But here's the thing. A lot of companies are switching over to blockchain, which is a lot easier to keep up with all that data. So even if we do have to switch from US dollar to something else very quickly, if most of the countries on blockchain by that time, because it's not going to happen overnight. The US dollar is not just going to crash to zero, just like the NASDAQ's not going to crash to zero in one dip. It's not how things work, right? The only thing that's crashed to zero lately has been Luna and UST, but they were completely destroyed basically. So the NASDAQ is not going to get, completely destroyed. It's just going to be uglier and uglier. But this is the thing, this is just the start. Right here was the COVID dip. There's the repo market cover-up. If you don't know about the repo market cover-up in 2019 in December, right before 2020, make sure you go and research that. All you should have to do is Google repo market cover-up. Very, very interesting thing that happened during that time. But even in the 2000.com crash, which is the biggest crash we have on this NASDAQ chart, it did not go down to... Oops, let me get that out of the way. It did not go down to zero. The market was all the way up at 5,000. It dropped to 3,000. Right here, the 2000 housing dip, it dropped from 2,000 down to 1,000. So we're not going to see it crash all the way down to zero. That's just not going to happen. There's plenty of companies who have assets that are not US dollar, right? BTCS, one of my crypto watches, and our good friend Charles Allen's the CEO of, that play, most of their money is not in cash. It's all in Ethereum and Polkadot and Atom and all these blockchains where they're validating nodes. So if the US dollar crashes to them, they don't care. There's a lot of gold companies that's not holding cash, they're holding physical gold. A lot of trusts. Oil, same thing. You've got trusts that are just holding oil and selling it as the price goes up. So it's not going to be a whole entire destruction if those things was to happen. It's still going to be here. And at that point, what I think will happen is they will just switch all the technology over the blockchain because it will be a lot more efficient. If they do not, well, then NASDAQ is going to get beat out by some decentralized exchanges through synthetic assets, which a lot of crazy stuff happening there. Oh boy, let me get back to some of these comments real quick. Okay. Did I get a town? 10? Yeah, I did. Last week I was down in Tennessee working really hard on my parents' farm, and I was outside all the time. Commodities, commodities, commodities. Shout out to Josie, one of the amazing Framework Fortune traders. Well, he's his own trader, but I consider him a part of the Framework Fortune family. But he's yelling for commodities. I agree. Imagine the price of food and fertilizer. Yeah, so with the price of food and fertilizer, that's another thing. There is going to be a food shortage, more than likely, from what they're saying. However, who's the food shortage going to affect the most? We have a lot of snack cakes in America, a lot of snack cake producers, okay? So, if we not got corn or potatoes, we're still going to have some cheeseburgers and at least some Little Debbie's cakes. We'll be all right. Other countries that are smaller than us, they're probably not going to be all right. They're probably going to get hit a lot harder. And then, so, it's not like, even if the food shortage happens, and I see a lot of people, ourselves included right now, starting your own garden. Start your own garden with vegetables and whatever you like to eat. Don't grow stuff you don't like to eat unless you think we're going to go back to bartering, but I don't see that happening with all of the different currencies out there. More than likely, if U.S. loses world reserve currency status, it would be the digital yuan that would take over as that status, unless somehow there's an agreement that Bitcoin or something like that is, but I doubt that's going to happen. But yeah, okay. So let me get to some more stuff here. Real estate market. NASDAQ's crashing. Of course, the real estate market's crashing. Not a surprise here at all. But the real estate market is on an uptrend since 2012. And if it does crash anymore, we do have an uptrend still. So it's going to bounce. And that's the thing with inflation. Land is going to get harder to find. There is not a infinite supply of land until Elon figures out how to take all our asses up to Mars or the moon. But for now, there's not that much land. A lot of corporations own all the land. Bill Gates bought a whole bunch of the farmland in the U.S. over this past couple of years. So land and housing and stuff like that will have a bounce eventually, regardless of the U.S. dollar. If the U.S. dollar crashes, that doesn't mean that your house and real estate is going to be worth nothing. It just means it's going to be worth nothing in U.S. dollar, which that's because the dollar is worth nothing. You won't be able to. You could sell it probably, but you'd have like a whole bucket full or wheelbarrow like Venezuela of paper dollars, and it would it doesn't make any sense. But your house will still go up in value in other currencies. For instance, the digital yuan, or well, I think the European Union's doomed. I think they are done. They, if you do any research on the European Union Central Bank and how the European Union is set up and the issues that they've got, they're going to get hit real, real hard soon, and it's not going to be pretty. Well, they've already been getting hit hard anyway. But we also got gold uptrending. This is why I've been watching gold stocks very closely. And of course, anytime inflation is high or there's uncertainty throughout history, gold has always been a go-to. And gold has also been around as a form of currency and money since the beginning of time, pretty much. Or at least until we started picking it up and trading it because we like the shiny rock. But we did crack this little short-term uptrend. And if we do come down some more, there's still plenty of support. So there's support right here at 1,500. Support right here at 1,350. Support right here at 1,000. The 200-day is at 1,300, which these would be big dips for gold. They would be pretty nasty. But even if that happens on the overall time frame of the monthly, we can see that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Gold still making this humongous pointy upward triangle. This is a beautiful, beautiful pattern that's been forming since 2003. Actually, since 1972. That's when they took around the time they took the dollar off the gold standard, and that's when gold just skyrocketed. So gold's close, which is a commodity. Silver's really been getting hit, but it's normal for silver to get hit when the stock market is getting hit. But a lot better uptrend, and we're not that far away from it. So if the NASDAQ drops some more, we may see silver back down to 20, maybe under 20, which I like those prices. If it drops down to 15, 10, even better. But here since that's almost a year and a half, that silver has been trying to hold this $22 area of support. It's dipped below it just this month, and we still got half the month left. So if buying pressure comes back in on silver, we could see it try to push back up, because there is a lot of reasons for silver to go up instead of down, even with the NASDAQ crashing. And natural gas, as Stocks and Chomps mentioned, natural gas has been on a tear. And I didn't realize it was on a tear as hard as, or more of a tear than oil has been. But this has been going on since actually right midsummer 2020 is when it started. And today, we're up at 573. However, we are off of the trend line. And on this monthly chart, we're starting to hit a little bit of a kind of a double top there. If the bodies of these two candles, if the monthly chart doesn't come back up and turn green. But this was a pretty big move, 270 up to 735. So we could see a pullback on natural gas. But still, that pullback could be about maybe to 450 if it even cracked 500. Last time it dipped down, this little wick here, it hit 500 and then just bounced right back off. So we'll see. More than likely, as bullish as it is probably going to try to hold 500 as support. And then we could see it blast off some more. Coal's down. But over the last over the last year, coal has started jumping back up. Don't know if coal is going to survive or not, but this is a nice U-shape on this monthly. We'll see what happens. I'm keeping an eye on it close, but it's not getting as much attention as natural gas, or at least there's not as much money as natural gas and oil coming in there. And then electricity, you look at a monthly chart on the electricity future, it just looks like chaos. I don't even know what to say about that. Uranium cracking out of the channel that it was in kind of looking like a head and shoulders here almost. Shoulder there. This is a little bit higher shoulder, but still kind of in the same area as this tip and previous congestion. And then the head there. So uranium could come down, but this is still cheap. This is still very cheap for uranium. Maybe because well, I don't know. From what I've seen, the whole Ukraine thing hasn't slowed down any. But if there starts to become talk of nukes or anything, of course, uranium will get a bounce back up. However, that's not why we've been watching uranium. We're watching uranium because when you do the math around these prices, it's like $2 or $3 an ounce of uranium compared to $1,700 right now for an ounce of gold. Now, there's some expenses that come to mining uranium and holding uranium that make it a little bit more expensive than other metals. So you kind of have to calculate that into it. But still, very, very cheap prices. And uranium going down, we are going to need a lot of energy if we're going to get through all of this, because natural gas and oil being at these high prices, and if they continue to go up, nobody's going to be able to afford to get gas or the electricity. I'll just tell you, with all the internet problems I've had, all the issues that I've been seeing in multiple areas since I've been traveling lately, our infrastructure is garbage in the U.S. So there is some companies laying fiber optic lines, all that type of stuff, but it just does not look like we are going to have the energy we need if prices go up. And the only solution, which is actually the best solution regardless of what the media says, is nuclear reactors. Very clean source of energy and pretty safe now. Everybody, thinks of Chernobyl, but Chernobyl was a long time ago. It's 2022 now. We have very, very sophisticated technology at this point. So it'll be some point, I think. Uranium is going to start getting some attention. Some of the other commodities. What is ZC? I forget. I don't know. But here's cotton. Cotton has been another one nobody's really talked about, but cotton has been going straight up since August 20. I mean, this is a nasty uptrend, all the way down from 16,000 all the way to that 46, almost 50,000. It got rejected off of that 50,000, which is likely. But, I mean, if it breaks through 50,000, then it's going to go up more. So your clothes and anything else that is made with cotton is going to get more expensive as well. And we've seen the same thing. What is ZW1? I forget. What is that? No, it's not crypto. Get out of here. Oh, yeah, it's wheat. And wheat, same thing. Wheat is just going ballistic. I mean, crazy, crazy. So if inflation continues at the rate that it's continuing, these should continue to go up, and with the shortages. And then if they do reverse course and start printing money and bringing interest rates back down, that's going to cause the dollars to have less purchasing power, so it's going to show these shooting up even more because it's a U.S. dollar chart, so everything's getting very expensive, but in U.S. dollar. But let me show you guys this little feature here real quick, and then we'll move on to stocks and what I'm watching in particular. Where is it at? What am I looking for? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So I've already pre-programmed this. This is the NQ. I'm going to hide all the drawings. And then I have it programmed right here, and this is an all market comparison. So let me turn this off of auto. There we go. And this is on a monthly chart, so it's kind of hard to see right now, but we'll go into a daily chart and you'll be able to see it a lot better. I just want to show you the difference here of all of these markets compared side by side. And you can see Bitcoin was way up there. So compared to the rest of the markets, not really a surprise. Well, that's actually log. I need percent gain, but still Bitcoin and even Ethereum, I mean, gosh, it was up 32,000%. Because I like to look at this as percent gain. But let's go into a daily so it doesn't look so stupid. There we go. Now, even on a daily, it may look like a lot, but we're not really paying too much attention to a whole bunch of previous patterns. If you scroll this in to, let's see, this is the beginning of May right here. Let's spread it out some here. These percentages will change as you scroll in and out to the percentage. Oh, that's why it's on the auto. There we go. All right, so there's May. So since May, we can see oil is performing 13% up. The US dollar is up 1.8%. Gold is down 2.9%. Silver down 7%. Uranium down 8%. The NQ down 13%. And then Bitcoin down 43% and Ethereum down to 58%. So these have gotten way oversold. And they could sell off some more, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they're way oversold percentage-wise since the beginning of May compared to the rest of these markets. And all you got to do to add this comparison, I'll pop off my pre one real quick. I have multiple ones I've been working on. Oh, no, come off there. There we go. Okay, so all you got to do is just right click on something over here. We're on the NQ. Go to natural gas, and this is new. Add natural gas to compare, and boom, there you go. You've got natural gas on your chart with the NASDAQ, and you can see by the timeline which one's performing better. And so that NASDAQ pullback did actually come with a pullback on natural gas here as well. Now, if we scroll out to the beginning of the year, and this is where I really like to get fancy. This is natural gas compared to the NQ. Natural gas, that's what Lauren was saying, stocks and chomps, was nuts. And we kind of missed the boat on this one. So I'm waiting, for some type of new support area to form, because over this, just from the beginning of this year, it's up 200%, which up here it was up 280%. So if I go back and add all of my market comparisons on here since the beginning of the year, now we can see, well, there we go. We can see where oil's up 150%. We got Ethereum, which again has been way, way, way up. I don't want to do that. Oh, here, let me turn it to, this will work better. Let me turn it to a month chart, and let's just go to the beginning like this. Maybe that'll work better. 2022, there we go. Let's try and get this more easy to look at. Okay. All right, so that doesn't matter. We don't really care about that right now. So right here, since the beginning of 2022, oil's up 35%, uranium's up 13%, the US dollar's up 9%, gold's up 0.6%, silver's down at minus 6%, real estate is down negative 18%, the NASDAQ at minus 23%. So the crash that we've had so far on the NASDAQ is not even that big of a deal yet. And if the NASDAQ continues to crash, we could see that US dollar, because you got to go from stocks into US dollar into cryptos, we could see this dollar index come down as all that money starts going back into cryptos, because it will at some point. Once we hit, like I said, low enough prices, which they're getting pretty low right now. I'm chomping at the bit. And I've been buying a few things, absolutely. But when that money comes out of the dollar, it's going to go into probably the lowest things. I'm not expecting them to go into the higher things, which they might. Oil is one that definitely could continue to rip, no doubt about that. But I don't see money going into anything like real estate or the NQ. I expect this to swap, right? So let me grab my little drawing thing. I expect to see deep. No, not that tool. Come on. Come on. I'll get to you guys' comments in a second. I know I'm talking a lot. I haven't been on a live stream in over a month. I have a lot to say. It's all pit in. Okay. So let me get my drawing tool. Stop being stupid. All right, there we go. So what I'm expecting is when the NQ goes down. What kind of crazy drawing tool is this? Okay. When the NQ, no, stop. What are you doing? This is crazy. This is crazy. Hold on. I'm wondering if it's because of these things on there. Why is it not letting me free draw? Oh, anyway, we'll make it work. So I'm expecting the NQ to drop probably down to these percentage levels. Same thing with real estate. Why you put it there for? All right, same thing with real estate, which all that money coming out of the NASDAQ and all of that and real estate would also bring the dollar down. And then we would see possibly Bitcoin and Ethereum and the whole crypto market start to come back up. I would make these green. Wow. This is going to get nasty. So that is one possibility. Or that money here that comes out of the NASDAQ and back out of the dollar, it could also go into uranium. It also could go into oil and natural gas and all the commodities. Of course, gold and silver are down, so it wouldn't be much for them to go into gold and silver and other precious metals as well. So it looks like that's kind of what I'm expecting over this next year. Just because looking at this chart, we can see the percentage differences. So if you didn't see how I did that, you want to add these compare tos, just right click, add to compare, and boom, it'll be on your chart. Now let's get into some stocks. Well, first let me catch up on some comments. Take a sip of water here before I die. All right. Basis points. Oh, yeah, basis points. Thank you, Josie. I was blanking out on that. So you think we're going to have you think we're going to have a 0.75% increase on interest rates? They could. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the stream. I could see the Federal Reserve doing that first, and then the market crashes more, and then that's when they reverse course. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. SWN, you were in at $2. I don't know about that play yet. Lando, you've been playing. Oh, you've been playing inverses, huh? MES and ES, nice. What's up, Ruben? Let's see, where did I go? I lost you. Oh, there we go. Bobby, you said you think the real worry is just the value of the dollar. Look at Dollar Tree, $1.25. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great example, Bobby. That's a perfect example. Everything at the Dollar Tree is now $1.25 at least. So Jerome Powell and the media can try to spin it how they want. But if you've been to Dollar Tree, you know what's up. It doesn't take no master's degree in economics when that's all you got to do is go look at the Dollar Tree to see that inflation's crazy. All right, so do your things, Thanks and Chomps, don't worry. Mushroom infused mead? Wow, that's scary. Oh, okay, let's see. Bobby said, when do we buy silver? Well, I can't tell you what to buy or sell. That's not what I'm here for. But like I said, silver is probably going to test around 20. My biggest concern with it is the way it's following the NASDAQ. If I take, let me take all this off here. Pop up a second chart. So we compare the Nasdaq to silver. We're going to see a very, very similar sell-off. Oh, here we go. So I'm on a day there. I'm on a month here. So let's go. Well, let's just turn them both to month. Oh, I'm sitting here still drawing. So I wonder what these yellow dots were. Don't worry about those yellow dots. Don't worry about that. Okay. So you can see what is that since we started crashing this year. We hit the peak at January 2022. And we kind of did the same thing. Let's see, where's 2022? Actually, we had a dip on silver and then had that pop up. But now as the NASDAQ has came down, silver's still coming down. And actually looking at this monthly chart on silver, the 200-day is right here at 18. So, ooh, that's a lot of support right through there. Oops. What is going on? Why is my thing just doing what it wants to do? Get out of here. Trying to do all that. All right. So the 200 days at 18, you see all this previous resistance that was testing 18. And then, oh yeah, it goes all the way back through here. It was support here for a minute, bounced, resistance back here, played as a little bit of support as well before it ripped through there. So actually 18 looks like a pretty decent area because that's a lot of support. And then right below that, you've got 17. 15 is a nice whole number. 15 would probably be my favorite area if silver gets down there. But I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, there's a lot of things that silver needs to be in, especially EV cars, right? There's a shortage of EV cars. My EV car that I got 2 years ago, because I saw this coming, pretty much paid itself off already with the amount of gas money I've saved just this year probably. But it's went up in value. All EV cars are going in value because there wasn't that many that was made, and now gas is so expensive, $4 or $5. So people are trying to get the EV cars. Small supply, big demand. Gas keeps going up. EV cars are going to keep going up, and they're going to have to produce more, and those EV batteries take silver. So even if the NASDAQ continues to crash and silver does have some type of pullback, at some point is going to have to go back up. Unless there is a whole bunch of shenanigans going on with silver futures that is going to take some pressure to get a lot of these shorters that hold the price down on silver. It's big money, but it's pretty clear and pretty obvious. If you didn't see the video I just did on the nickel short squeeze, that was done by, well, the people who got destroyed in the short squeeze, who started it, was Chase, JP Morgan, and a billionaire Chinese tycoon nickel producer. Okay. Let's see. Still gotta come on a truck that takes fuel. What's that? Everything, pretty much? Yeah, I know. Kitchen garden. There you go. Stonks and Chomps giving y'all some good information about a kitchen garden. We got anybody over on Twitch? Let me see over here. Okay. How we do? Hey, what's up over there on Twitch? You can talk in the chat. I'll get your messages. If not, just, chill out, watch whatever you're feeling. Okay. So let the shorting begin. Make a nice little cup and handle. Josie said berry mountain tea and fired poke, crawfish, turkeys. Yeah, you got all that, man. You got plenty of natural resources. Got a lot of ducks going downstream every day. Easy targets, nice. Eating some duck. Which calculations, Josie? Yeah, well, I didn't include the Great Depression, the Dow Jones going, all the way down 90%. That could happen. That's what I'm saying. It very well could happen, but it would probably be a little short-lived. Or like I said, we're going to see probably some type of switch over to blockchain technology during that time. I mean, who really knows? Like I said, with Jerome Powell and the Feds doing all their manipulation that they're trying to do, I don't know how long they can control it. Well, they don't. Well, let me rephrase that. They're not controlling it. I don't know how long they can continue to poke at it and mess with the markets and try to prop them up. But there's a difference. There's a major difference between now and the Great Depression. And this is the thing that you got to think about. I mean, this is a huge difference, right? We have the internet. During the Great Depression, they did not have the internet. They did not have access to other currencies. They couldn't just switch out of the US dollar into something else like that. You know what I mean? Back then, I don't even, there wasn't even, was there phones in 1930? I don't even know. But anyway, the internet by itself, how much is that worth, right? So the internet's not going to go away just because the NQ crashes or the US dollar crashes. So it's very easy for people to move money around now. And the stocks, the companies that make tons of money off of the internet, when they're at fair value, I don't see them dropping any more just because of everything else dropping, right? At some point, the earnings of these of technology advancing, especially to blockchain, is going to bring in a lot of value and a lot of investors. It already is. Chipotle just announced, which is owned by McDonald's, that they are taking crypto as payments now. I don't know which crypto. I haven't looked at the details yet, but I saw the announcement of that. More and more companies, more and more big corporations are adopting cryptos by the day. More and more projects are being built by individuals like us. Speaking of that project, the Framework Fortune Blockchain Project will be up and running pretty soon probably. And we'll be getting those airdrops out. So we've switched some plans around and things are coming together nicely there. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that is a major thing. Unless the internet is turned off during a huge crash, I don't see a Great Depression happening. There's too many ways to make money and not just make US dollar, but too many ways to make other currencies and switch them on the internet right now. I mean, I'm getting paid, I don't know, 20, 30 different ways on the internet all the time from different assets and things like that, and PT gaming and all of that. So is that difference, that's a humongous difference from the Great Depression. And I think that's why we won't see that nasty of a crash, 90% down. I mean, we could come down quite a bit. I have no doubt we could come back down to 2008 housing dip, maybe even below, because all of this was artificial. I think it's drawing off here again. There we go. I think it's drawing off. All this run from here to here was all Federal Reserve Central Bank money printing. This was all inflated stock market, all artificial run. So this whole artificial run could crash all the way back down, maybe to those areas, which at that point would be over 90%. So you could be right. I'm just saying I don't think it would go to zero. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we'd see the NQ to zero. I don't know how low for sure it's going to go, because, I mean, we're talking, this is 2008 to now is what, 14 years, over a decade of market and currency manipulation at this extreme. There's been currency and market manipulation for a long time since the central bank became the central bank in 1923, I think. But yeah, we definitely could see. I mean, we could definitely see it come down a lot, and I expect it to come down a lot. But like I said, I just don't see zero. I think the internet is a major difference. But that's why I'm bullish on crypto, because like I said, if people aren't getting jobs or they can't travel because gas is so expensive, they're going to be on the internet a lot more, which means they're going to be looking for ways to make money online. And one of the best ways to make money online right now that I've seen is cryptos and the many different ways, just from my Cosmos ecosystem airdrops that I get every month or two from a new project popping up. That alone is great. And it's better than dividend paying stocks. No, no, I agree with you on that. I agree that they haven't found the bottom yet. 100%, Josie. 100%. They definitely have not found the bottom. Stocks and chops, you said we'd see a complete purge. That could be. So, all right. Interesting. Cruises haven't changed their prices yet. Well, I don't know. The cruise industry is. Uh, I think it's slowly dying off. I mean, people are still going to go on cruises, but you gotta look at the age generation thing, and a lot of the boomers, no offense to any of you, are dying off, and that was a very big generation. And the newer generations are smaller populated and not as I don't know, it's different. I don't see a lot of younger people looking to go on cruises. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but again, it's like the movie theaters. I think movie theaters are dying because the younger generations can watch whatever, and now you can watch it in VR. If you've got an Oculus Quest or one of the VR headsets, you can watch some movies if they've been formatted for it in virtual reality. So if you can watch it in virtual reality in your home, and you don't have to run and mess everybody up who's trying to focus on the movie at the theater when you got to go use the bathroom, you can just take your headset off and walk 10 feet away. That convenience, a lot of that is is that generation, which is probably the start with my generation. But yeah, we're moving to a very digital world, and it's scary because there's a lot of ways people can be controlled, but that's why I'm pushing for decentralized crypto projects, not centralized projects like Meta or Hedera Hashgraph, which is Google's stupid little blockchain. But anyway, let's get into some stocks here, because I agree with you, Joseph. We've stocked plenty. I agree with everything you're saying. It's just the internet, I think, will be what kind of holds up the stock market somewhat. But we're not to that point. You're 100% right on that. I don't think we're near a bottom. So we did have pets on the top 10 Nasdaq percent gainer list today, having a little jump up there. It says it's up 14,000 or 1,400%. I'm assuming there was a reverse stock split, 1 for 20, and then looks like it came out and just dropped down. So that was actually nothing. CMRA, what happened here? That got halted on a circuit breaker. Let me go into a daily chart. This looks like this is a newer company. We only have info back to the beginning of May. Are you changing both of my charts at the same time? Don't you be changing my... Well, I tell you what, Thinkorswim. I just want to take a look here what this did. Okay, so wasn't really doing anything. And then just today that's a big run though, from $1.30 all the way up to $4.30. No news, just pretty much had that IPO been selling off and got some buying pressure. Is only 19 million shares, so probably about 17 million in float, very low float stock, but got 70 million in volume. I don't know that with the markets being volatile right now, the stock market intraday is crazy. All the stocks are crazy. We're getting some crazy rips. AUVI, this is actually one I haven't researched yet, but I want to look into a little bit more because it did just pretty much, it broke the 200, which it tested twice. So on the third test, it broke nicely. It has a nice uptrend, and today where it closed, it was over the 200. So tomorrow, as long as it can hold up, which it looks like it's holding up, that 200's right at 320. Yeah, as long as it's above 325, I think we may see that continue to try to push up to 5. Because that's a very nice push over that 200 day. Let's see what we got there. Yeah, that we're also hitting that resistance previously on the back here, which is probably behind me. I forget about my head being in the way. There you go. Whoops. You might be able to see it better there. Yeah. And of course, $5 is going to be very strong resistance. But I don't know why this is ripping. Let's see, they installed a patented Lumicide surface disinfection solution okay. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't sound very interesting. The applied UV sounds like sunscreen. I don't know about that. I like the pattern it's forming, but I don't like what it's talking about. Let's see, we had HCWB up 30% today. Not a lot of volume on that. Nothing to look at there. BTMD, very low float, got some volume. Had a little pop up, but running right into the 250 day and all this previous resistance. So going to need to see some more out of that. I doubt that's going to be anything. AMLX. Pharmacy stocks. When we're in a market crash for day trades, we do tend to see some nonsense like random pharmacy stocks popping and stuff. This does have a very nice U shape. But it does have to break that 200. I don't want to see it break that 200 first. Run it, because I mean it just ran smack dab into it, and it's just flat right across there. So more than likely it may have a pullback tomorrow. A little bit higher float. I really don't like anything I'm seeing on the top 10% NASDAQ gainer list. So let's check some of these others. CMRA. And yeah, it's pretty much the same thing on these charts. So yeah, I'm just going to be keeping an eye on my watch list. INDO has came down quite a bit. Really hard. Little strange for it to be coming down so hard unless people are thinking that America's oil is going to be the thing that saves the day. Because this is an Indonesian oil company. Now they do have some pretty good potential. H&H has been covering this one. If you haven't seen H&H Traders channel, there's a link in the description. And the Discord link, go join the Discord. Don't make me have to tell you twice. It's all free. Anyway, it being Indonesian may be why. Now, Indonesia is actually doing pretty well economically. So this is a little bit lower than I was expecting this to get. But again, oil is still right here at this 120 area. So I don't know if INDO is just... I don't know. We need to see it start to form a bottom here before looking at it for another entry. But I do think at some point we will see INDO make some moves. Now I want to get into these gold stocks. So HYMC, It's Hycroft Mining. This is the gold stock that I've been on watch since they announced the news that AMC and Eric Sprott, if you don't know who Eric Sprott is, he's a huge precious metals investor from Canada. He has multiple Sprott funds, which include gold and silver. Part of that deal, which I didn't realize the whole deal, the beginning was 25% share into the company for both Sprott and AMC. However, they were also given warrants that would give them 50% of the company. So if they exercise those warrants, then AMC will own 25% of HYMC and Eric Sprott will own 25% of HYMC. Now let's get into a couple of other things on HYMC here, because I've been doing some research. So this is of February 18th, 2022, Hycroft Mine Mineral Resources. So you look at their resources, we can go all the way down to the bottom. You don't really need to look at all that unless you want to get real technical on the exact gold and the grade and all of that down there. But how much gold do they have in their resources is it showing? That's the grade, ounces. So you gotta do it. You gotta add 3 zeros to the end of the number. So the total measured, we'll just go off of measured here, 770,000 ounces of gold and then 29 million ounces of silver. And then of course, when you go through all this other stuff, because that's just the heap leach mineral resource. They also have this plant mineral resource. So the next one, you've actually got almost 5 million ounces of gold coming out of this one. And then you've got about 240 million ounces of silver coming out of that one as well. Or at least that's what it is showing that they're going to be pulling out. It's probably more of an estimate, but probably pretty close as technology for mining is really, really, really advanced. So altogether, we have measured almost 6 million ounces of gold and 270 million ounces of silver. So that's quite a bit. If they start pulling that much out, and that may be why AMC and Sprott invested in it, because they have this potential as a junior miner to pull out all this gold and silver. So they are already, I'm pretty sure, pulling out gold and silver from some of their mines. But that backing from HYMC, or not from HYMC, but AMC and Sprott, that allowed them to raise more money, which means they might go out and buy some more mining land and could start more mining operations and growing very fast. So very, very interesting in that one. And then here on the recent events, they completed the at-market equity offering program. And this was the deal with Sprott and AMC. But their balance sheet was strengthened by $200 million in gross proceeds. So $200 million, that's enough to get some loans or whatever to do some other mining. You can check out Hycroft Mine or HYMC by going to hycroftmining.com. But yeah, definitely worth doing some more research into, as these junior miners have potential that when they start rolling and investors come in, they can shoot up really quickly. Now the other play that I've been watching that's a gold play is AUST. Well, first let me go back to the analysis of HYMC here. So HYMC, that's the hour chart. But HYMC, that's where it, I believe, IPO'd at. The rest of this chart was a previous company. So we can move that back, I think. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point. But we have that nice uptrend. We have a downtrend as well. So we basically got a nice little triangle, a little wedge forming on HYMC.
And even with the NASDAQ crashing, you can see today it was up to 129. It is right below that uptrend, but we could see tomorrow if gold pops back up, the gold futures, that may be able to get a push. At some point, I think HYMC is going to get some action, especially if gold can break out. Gold's down to 1,800 right now, so that's a pretty nasty pullback over the last 2 days for gold. But those prices are getting cheaper on all the assets. I like it. This is the best time. I don't like buying at the tops of markets. I like buying at the bottom. So I'm excited to be alive for this crash. Gold's going to have to rebound, though, so we may not see HYMC do much until gold can make its little bottom and come back up. But the other gold play that I'm watching is AUST. This is a new IPO. That first day it IPO'd, as I've said before, it jumped to 29. Currently hanging around $1.75. Been holding over the last 5 days in that area. My trend line looks a little bit off on this, so it's still uptrending, really. But AUST, which is another company I did some digging on, has projects in Nevada. Now, they're not pulling out gold yet. This is a junior miner that has sites. They're, figuring out how much they can pull out and all that and getting all that ready to go. So if they don't, then it could go to zero and they could go out of business, right? But they just IPO'd, so that wouldn't really make much sense. But all their mines right now are in Nevada. You can see they've got this stretch, and this stretch, and then this basin project right here. So they've got 4. I think I said 3, but I think there's 4 altogether. And then you can scroll through their investor presentation and see all of these all these areas that they got. But the areas that they got in Vegas are surrounded by other mines pulling out gold, including Barrick and Newmont, which are bigger names in the gold area. Those are definitely higher priced stocks. So, yeah, right there, the 2 largest gold and mining companies in the world. So you can go through here, check out all of that. But what I wanted to show everybody is right here. Now, it's not very often that you have a stock company put something like this that actually makes sense in their presentation or doesn't boost them too much. So this is the life cycle of a junior explorer that they're showing, and then all this is pre-discovery where they're looking, and then you have the big rip when they find some gold discovery, and then you have another drop down where development is happening, and then the startup, and it shoots all the way up to that full value. But they are showing themselves right here before that rip. They're still in pre-discovery, so they've got to discover the gold. But them being honest about it, I thought was pretty unique. So once they discover gold, once PR comes out that they have pulled some gold and silver out of the ground, then AUST could get going. But that's, and gold, if it continues to rip, could push them up either way. And you can find all that at www.austin.gold. Now, real quick, MARPS is one that we've been watching because of oil. And I looked into it a little bit more. Marine Petroleum Trust. Their website is trash, but this is just a trust. It all sounds pretty good until you get to this sentence right here. And this is where it's crazy. The royalty interests held by Marine are depleting with each barrel of oil and cubic foot of natural gas produced. No funds are reinvested by Marine, thus depleting assets are not being replaced. Both Marine Petroleum Corp and the trust are prohibited from engaging in trade or business, and is not only and does only those things necessary for administration and liquidation of its properties. So this has been one that I've been keeping an eye on because it's super low float. They just announced a dividend for this quarter. They've been paying out quarterly dividends. But if they're selling off everything, this is not something that I want to hold long term. However, if it's getting pops because oil is going up, I will day trade it. And I am currently in MARPs at the moment. Very small position, just a small swing, which I'm actually getting ate up a little bit today on. But I only got 20 shares, so not a big deal. I do have 50 shares of ASUT I've started building at a price of $194. Might add some more, but I want to wait and see what gold's going to do before I add any more. But those are the only two positions that I have building in the stock market. So other than that, like I said, crypto plays, if the crypto market can rebound, these crypto plays are super, super cheap. BTCS all the way down to $1.84. Mara, Riot at gosh, I didn't even see it got down this low. 426, 482. When Bitcoin and Ethereum start rebounding, then Riot and Mara, BTCS, these type of crypto plays will start to rebound as well. But most of these plays, these companies have assets, and it's Ethereum and Bitcoin that they're holding in their assets. So if the prices drop, it drops the value of the stock as well. But when those prices go back up, who knows, we could see those companies back up to those higher places. Veru, this is one that has been kind of interesting. Oh boy, I didn't know we'd been going this long. The internet's actually working good. All right. But Veru may be one to keep a little eye on, just looking at this monthly chart, but it needs this candle this month to push back over the body of this green candle. If not, it's going to pull all the way down. Jim Cramer says the stock is losing money. Well, Jim Cramer, whatever. Hussa on the month looks really good, long as oil is going up. We do have this nasty downtrend over this last couple of days, but we did kind of break up out of it this morning before pulling back into it. So Hussa just an oil play as oil's dropping a little bit here, and when oil rebounds, we could easily see Hussa, MARPs, these other oil plays pop up. Or if there's any other oil plays you like, I know there's quite a bit out there that are all pretty much on these nice uptrends. And then Redbox, which I called out a few weeks ago, went on a very nice run. It is on an uptrend, but again, I have no idea why. This is just a pure speculation trade. Let me get, what are these? I don't even know what these lines are for. When I took it and when I called it out, just off of the upward momentum it started having. But you can see getting strongly rejected at $20. It is, on this monthly chart, almost over all the EMAs. So we need to see the month end and it close above those EMAs. And that's why I'm saying we may see it pull back down. And it could, it may just go to nothing. I don't know. This is a tricky play just because of the fact that Redbox is Redbox. And who is using Redbox nowadays? And until they show me something new, maybe if they get in a crypto space or something, that'd be a reason. But I think this is more Wall Street bets, apes playing games, maybe even, what do you call it? Two different institutions could be playing shenanigans with Redbox, trying to start another AMC GameStop type of thing. Who actually knows? But other than that, I know Hal's been saying keep an eye on these monkeypox plays. SIGA is actually still okay. SIGA holding above $10 after it had that little downtrend. But I don't like this reverse kind of U shape. So it needs to hold $10. If it can't hold $10, it's going to probably drop lower. TNXP, I believe, was another one HH said was a monkeypox play. And we'll see if monkeypox gets serious or not, but people could start trading. EFOI, I don't like that. AREC, this one actually looks pretty decent. Lower float, I believe only 13 million in shares. This has been on a very nice uptrend. Still got room up to the 200-day on the daily. If it can hold $15, could see a little pop to 20, but 20 is going to be a lot of resistance. But if it does pop 20, it could get up to that 25. But at 25, that's going to be pretty tough for that to break. But I do like the uptrend that it's starting to form, and the indicators starting to line up right. And other than that, there's not really been too much else that I've been keeping an eye on. AGRI, I know, is a good play to keep an eye on if you think wheat and all that is coming up, because that is an agriculture play. And then as far as any of the big stocks, Amazon did have their stock split. What's their ticker? I never look at Amazon. There it was. And after the stock split, it's been selling off. Of course, that's part of the market crash. So Amazon at $100 right now. I mean, if the NQ continues to crash, we may see it down to $50, which would be pretty wild. But it is a possibility if the NQ keeps dropping. However, if gas is too expensive, actually I hadn't thought about this. If gas is too expensive and people can't go out and buy their groceries, then Amazon delivery and all of that stuff, Amazon could see big sales again like we saw during 2020 in the COVID dip. It's very interesting. As the lower it gets, if it gets under 100, then I'll really start keeping an eye on it. But I don't think we're to those low prices yet. Let's see. I wasn't calling you old. I haven't called you old, Josie. Come on. Just run out cruises until they die. You're offended. You're not offended, Josie. Don't you act offended. You can't be offended. You got porcupine skin. So, it looks like we went 2 hours in on this live stream. So far, no issues. So, I'm back. We'll be back tomorrow morning for a live stream, day trading stream. We haven't had one of those in a while. So, be sure to come join us. And we'll probably do... Oh, there goes the dog. All right, he's telling me I got to get going. So, here's what I'm going to do, though. After, I'm going to take a little 30-minute break, and then I'm going to do a 30-minute update on the crypto channel after this. So, again, if you haven't subscribed to the crypto channel, link in the description. Link in the description for the Discord. You tell me, you make me do it 3 times. If I gotta say it a 4th time, if I come on that live stream tomorrow and our Discord is not full, I am going to be outraged. All right, I'm going to be. All right, guys. But anyway, yeah, give me about 30 minutes. Go be on the lookout for that live stream there, and we'll take a look at all the crypto market and what's happening over there. Tons of updates in the crypto market. And let me know your thoughts if you're watching this later on down in the comments below. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. Guys, stay safe out there. Until next time. And I got to remember how to end the stream because it's been so long.